Okay, so let's talk about this measure um, in the in task 2 part 1. This is also going to be something you have to deal with in your assignment. Um, so this is a cross staff measure uh, where you have notes basically belonging to one staff all of a sudden jump over onto the next, which in this case has to do obviously with the hand uh, setup. Now to do this, you do have to do a couple of steps. Now, so let's just try to copy that first measure. I'm going to see if I can leave it here. I won't be able to. I'm going to leave it to the side, but you should have your document open. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clear some of the stuff here. I'm going to select and then right click, clear all items. I'm also going to get rid of this clarinet and B flat. If you create an instrument and you don't want it anymore, one way to delete it is to go to the staffs tool, go to the handle for that instrument, right click, and then I'm sorry, to go to the handle of the staff, right? And then delete staves and reposition. There you go, because it'll push things back up. Okay, so let's deal with that measure now. So I'm just going to go ahead and type all the notes in here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type all the notes as if they all belonged to the top staff, as if I was just typing the whole thing up here, including the notes that are on the bottom staff. And that's how you want it to be, because Finale will actually consider those notes part of the same staff. So let me just do that real quick. Let me type this B flat, and then C sharp, and then G. Now, one other little thing. You see how it says C natural, even though there's no C sharp before? The reason is because of what's happening in other parts of the score. So Schoenberg decided to be specific there. The way you can do that you can make, let's say, a natural sign display without it being necessary is in the speedy entry tool by selecting that particular note. Let's say this one, this is D natural. I want it to actually show that it's a D natural, and you press Shift and then the 8 key, which will be considered the equivalent of the asterisk, and it'll force it to show up. You could do the same thing to hide things that are supposed to be. Okay, anyway, so we have your G natural here. So there you go. So those are all the pitches for that measure. Let's compare them and see if I can make this smaller. Maybe not. Can't seem to be able to grab it. That's weird. Oh, there you go. All right, let's just move it out of the way. It won't let me grab it. All right, maybe I'll just move this down instead. There's always a way. Okay, so still in the way. All right, here we go. So we have G sharp, E, C, D, B flat, because this is treble clef as well, G, and so on. So what we need to do for this, to move those notes down, is we'll finally get to use the note mover tool, this right here. And so what you can do is you can click on a measure and all these handles will show up, and then it allows you to grab a note and just drag it on to another staff. Now, the reason you see all these ledger lines is because you're still in bass clef. So let's just go ahead and move them down for now. Okay, and then we'll deal with the rest later. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the clef tool, and then let's see if we can do the exact same thing. Let's try selecting, no, not this. Okay, I'll select just these 3 notes, and then I'll double click and switch to treble clef. Ah, that worked. Okay, except we have a clef we don't need here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, so this is fine. There's also another issue, which is this rest that you see here. So Finale automatically shows rests in empty measures. Now these rests are not real rests, in the sense that if you actually go in, into the measure with a speedy entry tool, you don't see anything. In other words, you can't actually get rid of that. So what you need to do is you need to first turn it into a real rest, which you can do by either typing Oh, there's too many. That was too long. Oh, do you hear that stuck note? That happens sometimes with MIDI. What you do is you retype the same note, and it'll get rid of it. Little trick. Okay, so I'm going to turn this into a rest. Now that it's a real rest, I can actually go in and hide it. So I go in and click letter H, or letter O. O would do the same thing. They both will do, H or O. So anyway, I need to do that here. So I go in here, and as you can see, there's not actually, there aren't any notes in here because they all truly belong to the other staff. So we'll type half note, rest, or you can put it in with a normal entry tool. And here we go. Now our clef moved around, so let me go back to that, and let me drag it back over here. There we go. Okay, so we're getting closer. So let's move this down a little bit and push this up here, and let's take a look. So what we need to do now is we need to take, I'm going to keep trying to move this. For some reason it won't cooperate, but there we go. We need to move the beam down, and to do that we'll use the special tools, and we'll click on this tool right here, which is the beam angle tool. And when you click on your measure, you'll be able to grab the beam. If you grab the other beam, you'll be able to change the angle, which is not what you want right now. You just grab this one and you'll be able to go up and down. Now of course that creates another issue, which is that now the stem is on the wrong side. So for that you use this tool, which is called reverse stem tool, still under special tools. Reverse stem tool. So you click on that, and now all these little handles show up, and all you do is you click on a note and it'll reverse its stem. It's also moving this down, so we'll have to fix it. Maybe there's a way to predict the behavior, and that's pretty much it actually. That takes care of it. I mean, if you want to do it exactly the same, you'd have to do something like this. Alright, that's about right. Okay, now you obviously see this bass clef here because finale is, we only told finale that this bit was in treble clef, not this bit. So we'd have to go here and say stay in treble clef. There we go. Okay, so that's that. There we go.